Hi, friends. Okay. Chapter 7, Troll Tonsillitis. Troll tonsillitis? Pearl furrowed her brow. I didn't know that trolls had tonsils. Well, actually, I don't really know anything about trolls. Ben put his hand to his throat. Is it anything like regular tonsillitis? 'Cause I had that a lot when I was little. Me too, said Pearl. Mr. Tabby explained. While the human version of tonsillitis is not contagious, the troll version spreads with an inhalation of a single stray germ. The victim's face and neck puff up, giving the individual a troll-like appearance. Trolls are not attractive creatures. Ben had never seen a troll, but Victoria certainly looked gruesome. Is Victoria's head gonna explode? Pearl asked. I may not like her very much, but I really wouldn't want anyone's head to explode. That would be terrible. There will be no exploding, but she will not return to normal unless we administer the proper medication. Nor will Dr. Wu or the Sasquatch. Ben suddenly remembered something very important. Meadowmouth is sick too. Oh dear. Tisk, tisk, tisk. This shall prove most difficult. Dragons do not like taking medicine. And he sneezed all over us, Ben added. We definitely inhaled some of those germs. Mr. Tabby looked worriedly at Ben and Pearl. Do either of you possess tonsils? I had to go to the hospital and get mine taken out, said Ben. Mine too. See? Pearl opened her mouth really wide as if to show evidence. Ben stood on his tiptoes and peeked past her molars. Sure enough, no tonsils. Along with being Dr. Wu's apprentices and sharing all sorts of secrets, this was another thing that Pearl and Ben had in common. If you do not possess tonsils, then you cannot catch troll tonsillitis, Mr. Tabby said. Ben sighed with relief. That was excellent news. Mr. Tabby continued. I do not possess them either, so it would appear that the three will escape this epidemic. Poor Dr. Wu, Pearl said with a frown. I don't want her to look like a troll. Ben agreed. Even with the scars that ran across her cheek and neck, Dr. Wu was one of the prettiest people he had ever known. He couldn't imagine her with a puffy face and a thick troll neck, even though the Sasquatch wasn't attractive by any means, but maybe to another Sasquatch. Ben had spent enough time with that furry beast to care about its well-being. And Meadowmouth was his friend, so of course he didn't want the dragon to be sick. What about Dr. Wu's special soup? Ben asked. Last week, both he and Pearl had caught a cold from a leprechaun, and the soup instantly cured them. Won't that work? The special soup has no effect on troll tonsillitis. The only cure is a ground griffin feather. What's a griffin? Pearl asked. Ben knew this answer because the emblem on one of his father's fancy cars was a griffin. It is a beast that is half eagle, half lion. Mr. Tabby raised his eyebrows as if impressed by Ben's level of knowledge. That is correct. Unfortunately, after an extensive search of Dr. Wu's medicine cabinet, I have found not a single speck of ground griffin feather. He pulled a pocket watch from his vest. I must make haste. It is time for me to check the doctor's temperature. And he ushered them to the sidewalk. You want us to leave? Pearl asked. But aren't we going to help you? Today is Tuesday. You do not apprentice on Tuesdays. But what about tomorrow? Ben said. Is our apprenticeship still canceled? I must think about that for a moment. Seeing as though the two of you do not possess tonsils and are, therefore, in no danger of catching troll tonsillitis, I am uncanceling." "Yay!" Pearl shouted. Ben was also excited, though he couldn't help but imagine his grandfather and the other seniors with big balloon heads. It would be pretty difficult to play board games at the senior center if everyone kept tipping over. "What are we going to do if there's no Griffin feather?" "Well, we shall have to get one," Mr. Tabby said. "Did you say we? You mean we're going to the imaginary world?" Pearl started bouncing on her toes. "Seriously? You, me, and Ben? All three of us?" Ben chewed on his lower lip. A trip to the imaginary world? Another trip to the imaginary world? Perhaps they misheard Mr. Tabby. Maybe he had mixed up his pronouns, saying we by accident. Pearl kept bouncing as if the sidewalk were made of rubber. Ben, however, stood perfectly still. Mr. Tabby released a long, exasperated sigh. "Ugh. It distresses me greatly to admit that I cannot accomplish this task on my own." He closed the gate and locked it, and with the key dangling from his long fingertips, he began to walk back up the driveway toward the hospital. Ben and Pearl watched from the other side of the gate. Wait, what was that? "Mr. Tabby?" Ben called. "What are we supposed to do in the meantime? I mean, what happens if people start getting sick?" Mr. Tabby didn't answer those questions. "Arrive tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. precisely," he said over his shoulder, "and wear your fanciest clothes. One must always look nice when meeting a griffin."